Hello, everyone. Blue Star Saber here. Actually, for the first time, but I'm here once again to discuss Star Wars. But for the first time, I am reviewing The Mandalorian, as I did not review Mandalorian the first time they came out in the UK in the first season, or the second season. But that's probably because I wasn't really doing reviews at the time. But you know what? Now that I am, I figured might as well review The Mandalorian season 3. Episode 1, The Apostate, or the 17th episode overall. A lot has happened since this season. Let's see, in many ways, season 2 completed its first story arc. Let's see, and having Mando trying to find Grogu to a Jedi and all that stuff, which eventually led to Luke Skywalker, but in doing so, removed his mask, and in a sort of spin-off show, The Book of Boba Fett, which was also kind of a season 2.5 for The Mandalorian due to its last 3 episodes, including Din Djarin and all that stuff. You kind of had, as a result, he has been banished from his sect of the Mandalorians, the Children of the Watch, if you will. And since he removed his helmet, he's not allowed to do that. So now he's trying to redeem himself by going to the Mines of the Waters. But he's also reunited with Mandalore. This might, of course, cure some confusion with certain Star Wars fans if they did not watch the Book of Boba Fett. Probably more of the casual ones, as they probably didn't realize they need to do a spin-off thing. But they're probably just now realizing that the Mandalorian is probably going like the MCU kind of thing, but with different TV shows. But yeah. So how will the show tackle with all these changes? Not to mention some of the controversies that happened, such as the firing of Gina Carano, Cara Dune's actress, due to her controversial tweets that Disney decided that they had enough of. But anyway, we'll find out with the first episode, the apostate, if you will. Let's see. The episode sort of begins with the armorer doing an initiation of this new Mandalorian, someone called Ragnar, which at first, when I first saw this, I thought it was going to be like, it looked to me like it was going to be, is this like Din Djarin's flashback or something? But I thought it would be weird because this is not, but at the same time, I doubted it because, well, you also have, Paz Vizsla there, but because it's like, well, he should be around the same age as Din Djarin and all that stuff. But yeah, not to mention. But there was also things that made me think, okay, is this a flashback? Because there's a lot of Mandalorians here, unless, of course, that the Armorer and Paz managed to find more members of their section, of their group of the Mandalorians. And all that stuff as she's giving the creed to this kid, who I have to admit, this Ragnar kind of reminds me of a young Kylo Ren, and I thought, which they weren't using him for this kid for Mandalorian, would probably make a good young Kylo Ren if you ask me. Training under Luke as is instead different as his first student, but yeah. Anyway, Din. So the kid is getting an initiation into the Watch, if you will, but instead attacked by what is called a dinosaur turtle. I'm not sure if that's actually its official name, and that's just the description that they're sort of giving it. But it's got like a very nice turtle crocodile design. It fights the Mandalorians bit. They work together flying. Some of them get eaten. Even the armorer tries to help, pulls them out of the waters, but they stand no chance, but then get saved by Din Djarin and Grogu as he comes in with his Nebula 1, I believe, let's see, Nebula on Starfighter, if you will, which I did thought I had a wiki page set up for that, but clearly I did not. But yeah. But anyway, he's saved them. Now, granted, you can't really tell how the Mandalorians are reacting to this. They've got the apostate saving them, but yeah. I suppose that is one of the downsides of helmets. You can't see their emotions too much. But yeah, the Mandalorian is here to privately visit the armor, who still reminds him, "You are banished," but he ends up showing that he ends up showing him this like crystallized bit of material from like the and some descriptions from Mandalore that the Jawas managed to pick up and all that stuff, implying that it might still be possible to go there. After all, since he's banished and since Mandalore has been destroyed by the Purge, or the Night of a Thousand Tears, if you will, Din Djarin can never be redeemed since he removed the helmet himself. But the armorer seems to at least think, okay, if he can prove himself that he's been bathed in the waters, he can return to the clan and all that, and the sect, if you will, and be welcomed up by the Mandalorians. This is the way, as him and Grogu depart. Now, I have to admit, it's actually interesting that we got a glimpse of what the Mandalorian, how the Watcher's initiation takes place in like a sort of baptism, if you will. Well, in some sort of waters, maybe not the actual waters of Mandalore, because well, at the moment they'll believe that they can't see the access, but yeah, here, well, it is interesting to see it. We see this new kid. It's interesting that the armor has managed to find more from her sect, of the Watch and all that stuff. They're probably, whether or not they were any more survivors from Nevada, or if you will, Nevada, or if you will, or just scattered about from the galaxy and all that stuff. They just managed to find more, and let's see, which might be the more logical answer, but it seems like the Watch is building up the thing, and who knows? This may lead to like one of the big factions that will play. They'll play a huge role in like let's see, in this season and arguably season 4 probably, but yeah, because we at least know there's going to be another season of The Mandalorian. But yeah, during Mando is then traveling with Grogu back. But yeah, I do like how the armor, despite is still like stern with Din Djarin. It's like, you're no longer Mandalorian, but is willing to give Din Djarin a chance if he can prove that he's been bathed in the living waters of Mandalore. So yeah, she's not completely let's see. Oh, you should not. Oh, you are not to be true. Let's see, you blew your chance and all that stuff. But yeah, I do like how she's at least willing to give him a benefit of the doubt at least. But yeah. Anyway, so Mandalore travels to hyperspace with Grogu in the ship, and we end up learning that it can actually go underneath to be hugged by Mandalore, which I think was nice. But yeah, which occasionally allows him to do that. But we do know eventually from the trailers that there's going to be an an R2 unit, an R5 unit is going to be check out my microphone. We do know okay, there we go. It's actually working. Yeah. Let's see, but yeah. But we do know that, he's the traveling hyperspace, and Grogu ends up seeing some of those hyperspace rails from like Star Wars Rebels, which I thought was kind of neat, and I thought this is more of the Mandalorian slowly but well building into like adding a bit of the Rebels lore, since Thrawn was mentioned in the like season 2 with a Ahsoka episode, and we do know that she's looking for Ezra, so yeah. And it looks like the Mandalorian might be building Thrawn as the overall big bad for the Mandoverse, if you will. Arguably loosely adapting the Thrawn trilogy, if I had to guess, but yeah. But yeah, anyway, they arrive on, I believe, Navando, in which it is very different as you get Grogu and Mando looking about, seeing all the different festivals, the designs, the creatures, the culture, all that stuff, the standouts, all those kind of things. But yeah, but it is kind of nice to see just how radically shifted the place has been, and even see a statue of, IG-11, which actually has some of the droid parts, and they end up, meeting their old friend, Grief Kagra, who welcomes Mando, and they have a conversation inside where the Mando ends up with the rehashing of what went on since he last met him. I do like how Grass Creature seems to be just, oh, okay, his name's Grogu, and just like doesn't make a big deal about it. It's always funny to see people get some reaction to Grogu's names after, if they met him before and all that stuff. But yeah, so I will never know Quill's name, but yeah. But anyway, Mando ends up telling him how Grogu gave Grogu to Jedi. He came back. He lost his art. He became a apostate. He's exiled from his clan, and he's now on a mission to come back. But Din Djarin tries to offer him a set here and all that stuff and live here, but instead Din Djarin actually is here to recruit IG-11 and all that stuff, believing that it's the one droid he can use to help him go to Mandalore and all that stuff, which he's willing to take the bits and pieces he can from the statue. And it's kind of funny seeing the statue without that bit. So I'm wondering if they're gonna rebuild that bit, but who knows? But now as for IG-11 coming back, I have mixed feelings, to be honest. On one hand, I like the droid and all that stuff, but I feel like it kind of null and voids his sacrifice from the end of season 1, and I thought it was, and I rewatched the Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett to prepare for this, and I really liked the sacrifice. I really felt the emotion, but yeah. But it seems like this is another one of. But then again, he has been destroyed once. But it seems like, I guess it makes more sense. But then again, Star Wars has become a much more notorious for doing comic book deaths of characters dying only to come back later or surviving lightsaber wounds. But then again, I guess a droid, technically you can rebuild as many times as you want as long as the pieces aren't permanently destroyed. So, yeah. So, yeah. But during the course of this, a pirate caught by the name of Vane, a sort of Nico with a bunch of ritzy Trodosians, other Nikos, and those are dog ones that you might remember from the Mandalorian. I always forget that species name. Hold on, let me just get species. Or sentient aliens. I believe a Klatooinian, yes, Klatooinian. But yeah. But so yeah, you got the Klatooinian. They want a drink, but it's at the now school area, which is interesting that that they comment on the fact that this used to be the bar and the place where a lot of scummy things in. But I guess it goes to show just how much the place has reformed. Nevada has reformed since kicking out the Empire, if you will, in a prosperous place. But now a place where violence, destruction is now used to help educate and teach the next generations of citizens here. It's also interesting to learn that Grief Kagura is also trying to make this the first official independent planet for trade and all that stuff, and it has become official for trade. And as you can see, the place has prospered. He also likes to be called Hyde Magistra. He also got these little droids holding his cape thing. I thought that was kind of cool, but funny, but yeah. And he keeps pointing people that he's High Magistrate now, but yeah. But I do like but yeah. And we also end up learning that I forgot to mention that we finally got an answer to the Cara Dune scenario with Gina Carano being fired. The character Cara Dune has been promoted to Special Forces from the New Republic due to catching Moff Gideon, and as a result is on some big missions and all that stuff. But yeah. Now this is probably the best way they can remove the character without they had to acknowledge this, I believe. The controversy was it was the one thing that divided the Star Wars fans. There were those that felt like, oh, this is cultural war, woke nonsense and all that stuff. No, some people saying she messed with the House and the Mouse. She said to keep crossing the line and all that stuff. Whether you stand on the issue, I mean, I can sort of understand, from my understanding of Disney, has given her repeated warnings, so I can understand why they would do it in the end, even if it's a shame. And whether or not recasting the character, but yeah, it's just one of those things they're not going to do. But they decided to permanently retire the character. But yeah, But this makes, in a sense, because she was a rebel shock trooper for, so yeah, so sort of special forces group would make sense. Granted, given the fact that I think the Rangers of the New Republic was supposed to be a spin-off, I wouldn't be surprised if that was originally what the show was going to be doing, but we're just not going to see it on screen now. But yeah, maybe we'll get a few mentions to the character here and then, but who knows? Granted, some might get annoyed if she ends up being killed off screen, but but given the whole controversy and what Disney has to do to address it, or what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni had to do to address it, it makes sense. And we got to resolve with her character at least. Let's see, she's going off doing some Star Wars adventures. Whether or not they will tell them in some novels or comic books in the end, who knows? But yeah, but given how Disney has cancelled the merchandise, probably unlikely. But yeah. Anyway, let's see. But going back to like the whole pirate thing, he wants to drink in that school, but let's see. Grief Kagura does not really want to do that and all that stuff, but so they get a sort of a Wild West standoff, and he blasts the blast out of Van's hands, but let's see, telling him to go tell his boss that the pirate Goran Shad, who I think invested in the planet and all that stuff, and that's why they feel they might be welcome here, or they should be welcomed here, to net the Nevadas off put for pirates. But let's see, you still have some of the others try to fight back, which results in Mando shooting at least 4 of them. And this causes a bit of a grudge later and all that stuff, but yeah. But the Jar and let's see, but Grief Kagura is ended up trying to recruit Mando to be the new marshal here, since Cardu's been promoted and all that stuff, and he would make more than a good replacement. But the Mandalorian is, of course, here in business, and he accepts that. Realizing that, I do like how Griff Carr is not kind of trying to force his friend. He knows his friend Mando will do what he does and all that stuff, even if he just, I do like, even though he will try to offer him being like a hero here, and he's either got a place here, even if his own people won't accept him. But yeah. But anyway, they have him attempt to repair IGN, and he does come back online. But let's see, I suppose, even though I'm not a fan of him come back online and all that stuff, let's see, he's not back the IG-11 unit that we've come to know in like the last 2 episodes of season 1. He's been resorted back to his old programming, trying to terminate Grogu, but he's, of course, only got 1 arm and like his chest body again and all that stuff. I do like I do kind of like how it moves. Also, he moves all sort of like terminate, destroy the child, kill the child, like the guild priorities that he was being assigned to. I'm surprised Mando never asked why the droid was ordered to just terminate the child when he was supposed to bring it in alive. But yeah, but I do like how the droid uses a statue to crush IAG's head, which I assume will probably be repaired. I assume that the statue of IG will be probably fully erected and all that stuff, but yeah. But Mando doesn't really want to give up an IG, ask if there's any way to like reprogram it or fix it up. And of course, that leads to some Grief Kagura to lead Mando to some Alazunians, who for those who know, right, well, recall, they're the small little aliens who, resetted 3PO and episode episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, and all that stuff. I'm not sure their planet was like, does that the actual planet was destroyed or not, but yeah. I have to admit, for those who probably don't like the sequel trilogy, will probably not like the aliens, but I do kind of like how Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau try to unite all Star Wars fans together by using alien ships and vehicles from all different eras of Star Wars are coming up. So, yeah, it's like trying to find balance between all the fan base and saying just because this appeared in something that was controversial doesn't mean they can't be accepted into the wider Star Wars universe. But yeah. Anyway, as the Australians try to explain to Mando that they need to get like new parts and all that stuff. I do kind of like the funny conversation where you have Grief Karga trying to translate when like some of the words don't make sense or don't speak, but some of them he is speaking English that Mandalore does kind of get, but it's a mix and match. But yeah, it's kind of funny. But I do kind of also like it how Grogu tries to hug one of them. It's like, no, Grogu, bad, 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 bad. So there's like that. So with those, what he needs to do? Let's see the parts he needs. He decides he needs to go somewhere and find them. Says bye to Grief Karga and heads off. Anyway, one thing that I'm probably just going to be before going to the next thing, like I'm going to theorize here is, judging by the way this episode is and the fact that Cara Dune is now gone, I wouldn't be surprised that once Mando gets IG-11 for his mission, he's going to have him. He's going to then, after once that is done, he's going to have him stay with Grief Karga and sort of become like the new Marshal of Nevada and all that stuff. A droid marshal, that sounds nice, but yeah. But I suppose this is probably one of the reasons why they may have also brought back the character. Who knows? They might have been planning to do that in the first place, but it might be the fact that since Grief Karga wanted Mando to be the new Marshal, but instead you probably have this droid being it. So I think that will probably work once it's programmed back to Quill's setting. Which let's see. I do kind of miss Quill, but at the very least, that character is still going to remain dead. And there's going to be still some deaths and sacrifices in the Mandalorian and all that stuff. But anyway, whereas Mando is flying to his next destination, he is teaching Grogu like how Mandalorians travel in hyperspace and all that stuff. And I do like how Mando is teaching Grogu how to be a Mandalorian and all that stuff. Since now Grogu's chosen the path of the Mandalorians, let's see, Din Djarin forgets teaching him as much as he can until probably the day when he actually dons the armor, which I'll be curious to see how they do that. But that probably won't happen until maybe like the series final, but we'll have to wait and see. But some people are like, cool, Baby Yoda Mandalorian armor. That will be an interesting merchandise toy, but yeah. But at the moment, yeah, he's probably staying as he is. I do like how Grogu just observes everything that goes on, like Mando's conversations, him force wielding a chair, grabbing snacks and all that stuff. So, yeah, I like that. But anyway, they get interrupted by Van, who has gotten with some of his pirate things, at least a total of 6 of them, who was angry about the killing of some of their comrades. Besides that, the Mando's got to pay and all that stuff, and even take him to their boss. I believe it's Goran Shad and all that stuff. But yeah, so let's see. So I'm trying to find the ships. Let's see. Well, the ships are currently unidentified, but I do like the new design ships. But yeah. But anyway, it's a dogfight pursues around asteroids, and I think there's even a few spaceports and mines in the asteroids there. But anyway, this fight kind of reminds me of like the fact that, but this is like the first time Mando has done a proper actual space fight, unless you count the chase from season 2, and a brief bit of starfighter thing, I think, in episode 5 of The Mandalorian. But yeah, this is like a full-on space battle. In many ways, it kind of reminds me of episode 5's space fight with like TIE fighters pursuing the Millennium Falcon, or like Obi-Wan pursuing Jango Fett in episode 2 Attack of the Clones. But yeah, it's a nice space battle, and 4 of the ships get destroyed, and eventually you get you arrive with Galor's let's see, you see Galorian Saw's main starfighter ship and all that stuff, and from the looks of it, it appears to be an Imperial one that's been hijacked, and it seems to be hijacked and being really painted and all that stuff for pirate suiting, and we end up seeing the pirate Garen Shard. Let's see, he seems to be an entirely new species, but he's green and all that stuff. If I had to guess, he can't really best describe him. He's like, it looks like a swamp thing, but with a beard, pirate beard. Maybe like the Flying Dutchman, if you will. Let's see, but yeah, he's got that pirate like Davy Jones kind of look. All that stuff, and he's mad at Mando and wants him aboard, but Mando escapes with hyperspace. I have to admit, let's see, they're really going with the pirate setting. I kind of like how they just really commit to it. And I do kind of like the Starship design thing. And it seems that this guy is going to be more of a recurring antagonist for this season, maybe even future ones. But we do know that Moff Gideon is coming back in his Imperial right hand, and no doubt will probably be one of the main antagonists of this season. But it seems like this one might just be more of the recurring pirate antagonist that Mando has to deal with, because he took out quite a few of his pirate starfighters. There's 5, I believe, at the end of it. Let's see. I might have said 4 earlier, but from what I can tell, there's 5. But yeah, I do like that. But anyway, Mando ends up going to visit Bo-Katan on the planet. Let's see, the planet. Where is it? Planet. Ooh, let's see what planet. Planet. Locations. I believe the let's see Cavallari, where let's see a planet in the Mandalore system, and it's where Bo-Katan's headquarters are, which I will admit I got spoiled by that because of some YouTube clips recommending of the Mandalorian, but which I was curious to see what was going to happen, as I figured perhaps she was going to try and challenge Mando for the Darksaber, but we end up learning that all of her followers have left her when she didn't retrieve the Darksaber, including the 2 that probably were with her in the second season. And as a result, let's see, they're scattered as mercenaries, and she has nothing left except for like her empty throne and all that stuff. But Mando wishes to join, despite Mando trying to join her. And you can tell that she's bitter and angry because of groups like the Watch, who abandoned Mandalore and didn't, let's see, stay with them and fight with the Purge and all that stuff, believing that all these sects that abandoned her, and the fact that she's now got nothing but has become completely deluded, has given up on taking back Mandalore and leading her people, and even suggests that when Din Djarin does it, since he wants to be a Mandalorian and all that stuff, but she also calls him a bit deluded that there's no magic to the waters of Mandalore and all that stuff, despite it's just cult-like thinking and all that stuff. But Din Djarin is determined to do it and all that stuff, and even wants to, let's see, help her and all that stuff, though she says that she might as well just follow him and all that stuff. But yeah, she's clearly given up on her goals, but it gives like Mando like tips of where to go next, which I think is the if I recall correctly, but then again I'm using the let's see Wiki just to probably just remember some of the places. But I think she's recommending him go to the Highland Way to, let's see, find what he needs and all that stuff. Possibly the droid parts, but yeah. So Mando agrees to it and leaves. Let's see, ending the episode. Okay, this episode went all kinds of places and all that stuff, but yeah. You had like that brief intro of like the Watch. We see how the group has gone bigger since the last time Mando saw them in the Book of Boba Fett. Let's see, giving him information that, okay, man, maybe he can come back. I do kind of like learning about Creed and all that stuff. We end up let's see Mando visiting Navarro, where, of course, I'm not a fan of, but IG-11 is coming back, but then, of course, needs to be repaired and reprogrammed and all that stuff. And Mando needs to get the parts. Let's see, we learned what happened to Cara Dune. Let's see, Navarro's become much more prosperous, and I do like how let's see each time we see it. And we've got introduced to a new antagonist group of the pirate of this Gorian Shard's pirate group. That's off with a bit of a nice dogfight. And of course, Mando seeing a broken, Bo-Katan, who has lost all of her forces. And I do kind of like how we see just how broken she is. That's just a fight that after everything she has struggled and fought for, how even losing her planet twice, and it looked like she might have had a third chance of getting again due to Din Djarin beating Moff Gideon, not intentionally stealing like the one weapon to her throne and all that stuff. She has lost everything and has now become deluded and given up. But yeah, but it's nice to see, but at least willing to at least give Mando a little help and not trying to attack and kill him or stuff just to claim the dark saber. But it's like leads up to all the things. I think some people have said it feels a bit disjointed, but from what I can see, most reviews are positive. But yeah, overall, I'd probably give this a sort of 8 out of 10. It's not a perfect beginning, and I think let's see the first, and it's arguably the weakest of the opening seasons from like compared to the last two, with the surprise that Baby Yoda and all that stuff, which forever changed what people would expect of the series. And also get people hyped and all that stuff. Well, it was like the biggest breakout character, and also like the and the first season with season 2's episode with like fighting that great dragon and all that stuff, and also the cameo of Boba Fett at the end, revealing that yes, he's still alive. So yeah. Overall, I think it's maybe the weakest start for like a season of The Mandalorian, but I still think it's pretty good and going strong. Managed to tackle most of like the issues of off screen, behind the scenes with like the Cara Dune situation, and also give enough to fill in of what happened with the Book of Boba Fett. Though I do wish the opening gave a bit more. Recap gave a bit more details to that. But I do like how the opening now has more like IGNs, Robot the Armor, and all that stuff, and like all those different headshots of all those live action Star Wars characters. But anyway, yeah, that's all I've had to say now. I hope those who are listening to this review enjoy what I have to say. I look forward to the next Mandalorian episode 18, or season 3, episode 2, next week. But for now, I'm going to now start watching The Bad Batch, and if I have enough time, I'll review it today. But yeah, anyway, I am Blue Star Saber, signing off. Thank you for watching or listening to this, and goodbye. May the Force be with you.